We're trying out Mothmen, 1966. Marge, I don't mean to alarm you, but there might be a Mothman or Mothmen in this house. Actually, it was Bart he was saying that to, not Marge. But the point remains, there could be Mothmen in here, and you don't know. You won't know until we find... I mean, we're playing a game called that, and like that in this comic book cover, it does appear to be like something that I would assume are Mothmen in the background. I guess the only way to find out if they're actually there is... okay, we have to pick a character. We can be Holt. I guess we're Holt. 3 red and 5 blacks in the... oh, it's 6 cards face up on the counter. 2 are red and 4 are black. So that's going automatically. 5 red and all and 9 black. I have no more moves. I have to bet now. Alright. I didn't really absorb that. I'm gonna go with a black card. Large majority of the face-up cards are black. Alright, is this... okay, I think this part is not automatic. You know, betting against a streak is usually dangerous. Even though you've already chosen, you decide to stay away from the counter. I can't bear losing again. I think of my grandma, Elsie, trying to win at solitaire for over 60 years. What? She didn't win a single game of solitaire in 60 years? I don't... man, that's an astounding streak. Take a deep breath and keep sweeping. Elsie's been paralyzed from the waist down since she was 21. Your mom was only 2 months old. The winter Elsie taught us to play solitaire. Our parents and sister had been dead for almost a year, and I'd already begun to forget their faces. Although we cooked for her, do her laundry, bathe, and even dress her, still feels like she's the one taking care of us. We close our eyes and we almost feel Elsie stroking our hair. We have a very close relationship with our grandma. We're 11 years old again, kneeling next to her bed, crying your heart out. Suddenly the bell rings, and I feel an invisible force trying to drag me into the present. Look through the window. Those fucking kids. The first brat is followed by 2 more. They step on the hose and activate the bell for a 2nd and 3rd time. You don't know what comes over you, but you yell some things at them that you're too ashamed to remember. We justify ourselves into thinking that they might be the one who got into our garage that night and stole some parts of the replica machine gun I'm building. I won't let anyone mess with my project. The Winnen's steam machine gun is the jewel of my collection. The kids yell at you, "Don't trick!" and laugh, sheltered by the distance. Deep down, I know it can't be them. How would they know which parts of the machine gun were worth stealing? Anyway, that guard dog's being brought over in a few days, and I'll be able to stop worrying. Alright, let's check the hose. I think about what someone told me at the bar, about replacing the hose with a thicker one, so it could only be activated by the weight of a car. And what happens if the kids jump with their bikes and land on top of the hose with one of the wheels, you ask? Kids are always going to find some way to bust your balls, they reply. Damn kids. If only they were all dead. Let's go back in. I try to calm down. Oh, it's so hard. It's so hard to calm down. Ugh. Look at the shelves and think of the solitaire my grandma taught us. My grandma always said that everyone has their place in the world, except kids. They have no place. People keep dancing around it without ever reaching it. To win this solitaire, I have to stop dancing. I know that the chances of winning are incredibly low. Almost 0. I can't bring myself to turn over the next card and decide to start sorting the shelves instead. Doing simple jobs builds up my self-confidence and provides me some illusion of control. Okay, can I see what they are? Maybe not. No, it doesn't seem like it. What's on the upper shelf? Let's get the bottle. Middle? Can? There we go. Oh, okay, I'm sorting them like that. All right. So I'm holding a can. How about let's put that on the lower shelf? Let's take the bottle. And maybe putting that on the middle. Get the can. And then the lower one, maybe a box. And then let's put that on the top shelf. Box. Check the shelves. Yeah, that's some good sorting. Good. One type of product on each shelf, just like God intended. This fancy car. I scratch my head. This time, sorting the shelves doesn't help. I feel the same urgency as before, and I can't think of anything else. This is the only thing I ever do. Is the card gonna be black? Oh, I need it to be black. Suddenly the air seems heavy, and I find it a bit difficult to breathe. Ah! 3 men in black are staring at me. Through the window, I see a black Cadillac by the pump. Yes? I wish I asked them how they got in the station without me hearing the door open. Or how they left the car there without the bell ringing. But a trembling yes was the only thing I managed to utter. The moose. The moose? After a few seconds of not receiving any response, I decide to break the silence. What's up with this moose? You brought a woman a whiskey. I don't know if it's the right move, but I try to relax and be more friendly. Do you know a more effective way to socialize? You told her the dream about your grandma. A chill runs through my body. It's been a few weeks since that night, and even though I had a good time with Martha and had no regrets, something about the way these men in black ask their questions make me uneasy. What do you want to know? Granny in the forest. One of the men further back lets out a cracking noise. I look at him believing he's laughing, but the man in black expression doesn't change. Well, I'll tell you about my dream. My grandma has been bedridden for over 60 years, but in the dream, I saw her running through the woods. Start from the beginning, and don't admit any details. You don't know if it's the way they look at you or because of a certain authority in your voice, in their voice, but we tell them everything about the dream. 5 or 6 weeks ago, we woke up in the middle of the night certain that something had happened to our grandma. I ran up to her room, and Elsie wasn't in bed. The window was wide open. I ran to it and saw someone walking through the trees. It was her, and she was holding a rifle of the kind my ancestors would have carried in the Civil War. I tried to call out to her. My grandma started running and shot 2 or 3 times into the blackness of the forest. I was about to go down to find her when a winged figure with glowing red eyes appeared in front of the window and screamed. I stumbled backwards. After hitting my head on the bedpost, I lost consciousness. I woke up in my bed and remembered the dream almost instantly. I went up the stairs 2 at a time and opened the door to her room. My grandmother slept peacefully. On the bedside table was the glass of milk I bring her every night, and the deck of cards she uses to play solitaire. During the days that followed, I tried to convince myself that it had all been a dream, even though I couldn't explain where the little stitches at the base of my skull had come from. Well, that's concerning. I mean, I've woken up with strange scratches, but I've never woken up with strange stitches. After a few seconds, one of the men in black speaks again. The spots on her legs predate her birth, Holt. What? What is he talking about? Is he referring to the dozens of moles on my grandma's legs? What do they mean by saying those spots predate her birth? Elsie always makes the same joke when I sponge her calves. Be thankful that you have to clean my legs and not my grandfather's, according to what she told us. Her granddad had been shot dead by an experimental weapon early in the Civil War when his legs were ripped to shreds. A winning steam gun, son. A machine gun that doesn't appear in any book. I think about the replica I'm putting together in the workshop. I wonder if it was the men in the black who had stolen those pieces. You're not telling anyone else about this visit, Holt. I start to complain when one of the men in black picks up a card from the counter. The top card of the deck. The crunch horrifies me, but I needed to know if that was going to be black. The teeth of the man in black seems to tear more than simply paper. Desperate, I throw myself under the counter and look for the card. My heart is pounding. I look out the window, and I don't see the Cadillac. I walk to where the car was parked a few moments ago. I step on the hose, and the bell rings. What the fuck? Jack of diamonds. It was red. Motherfucker. It's red. I think about the edge one of the men in black tore off. And I remember the noise he made when he chewed it. Was it a threat? A warning? I wonder if I should tell my grandma everything that happened or just keep my mouth shut. And keep playing solitaire with a marked card. Well, maybe we can finally win a game of solitaire with the marked card. Chapter 1, Lee. What's wrong? I told you, it's nothing. That damn pause again. There's something she's not saying. The Mustang purrs. I shake my head, feeling sad inside. The sound of an engine hides no secrets. Lee, you're right. I bite my lip and sigh. Why is everything so damn hard? Victoria settles into her seat. Let's start over, okay? Where are we going? Sure, why don't we answer the question? It's a surprise. Please. No, Vic, have some patience. You'll never forget this night. Victoria giggles. And you think this is the best gift in the world. For a moment, I forget all the previous discussions, my obsessions. A giggle, a friendly gesture. Making someone feel good ain't rocket science. I look at the clock and I can't believe my eyes. I left my house on time, but I'm pretty late. How could I step on the gas? Lee! Lee! I scratch the side of my head. Wow, you really hate being told how to drive. Lee? Why doesn't she just tell you to slow down? I take my foot off the gas. Thanks. I'm trying my best. I really think Victoria could be the one. The one. My dad once said the perfect woman doesn't exist. Couples form when people get tired of looking and just give up. I remember my mother's rants, all those women's names she rattled off as they were part of an endless grocery list. I won't end up like him. Anything but that. I try to smile and force myself to be more cheerful. Hey, you want a clue? Yes. Victoria looks into my eyes, and I feel a warmth on my face that takes me by surprise. I felt the same thing the first time I saw her in college. I keep looking at her for a few seconds that seem like forever. I should probably keep my eye on the road, really. What? Do I have a booger? Where? I can't help laughing out loud and have a hard time containing the urge to kiss her. Right on the booger. Give a clue about the, origin? It comes from far away. Victoria makes a gesture for you to complete the sentence. I just shrug. It comes from far away. I mean, that could be anything. Yes, then. The circus? Cold. Let's talk about the date. It happened 100 years ago. Victoria answers almost immediately. After all, you're both majoring in history. The end of the Civil War. No, not in 1865. I mean exactly 100 years ago, Vic. Oh, let me think then. You're running out of time. There was a cholera outbreak in 1866, right? Freezing cold. And how twisted do you think I am to set up a date themed around a cholera outbreak from a century ago? It could be educational. Let's give her a clue about the myth. One would be a source of superstition, but we're talking thousands. A source of superstition? Black cat? Victoria looks at you expectantly, desperate to be right. No, Vic, just give me a minute. You won't guess it unless... I reach out to open the glove box, and Victoria grabs my wrist. Better leave it to me. Victoria opens the glove box and examines its contents. A folder? A box? A flashlight? What are you looking for exactly? Tell her to look in the folder. At the folder. She opens the folder and examines the documents. Some papers, insurance details. You want me to read some of this? I shake my head. Why don't you look in the box? Victoria takes out the box and opens it. Let's see what you've been hiding. I think about saying something, but I instantly regret it and keep my mouth shut. Spare change, a lighter, a pack of cigarettes? Nothing to worry about, I reckon. Keep looking, please. Look under the flashlight. A book. 1966 Shelby Mustang. The car handbook? No, not that. Like the very last thing in the glove box, Vic, please. There's like one thing left in there. It's the only relevant thing. See, it's something more in there. Like, I already got everything out. Like, it's really pushed back in there. 1 second, there's this too. Victoria stretches out her hand, and you finally grab the map you wanted. It was folded against the bottom of the glove box. I start talking, and Victoria interrupts me. Hold that thought while I put everything back. Put the map on the dashboard while Victoria puts away the folder, the box, the flashlight. Vic, you know I like it tidy in there. Do you? It wasn't really tidy. Very funny. Vic flicks through the book she found. Red Badge of Courage. Haven't you read this book 1,000 times already? We know she's testing us. Vic knows exactly why I carry it everywhere. The novel that portrays the era I'm obsessed with like no other. What the hell is this? Suddenly I remember I'm using the pencil sketch that Victoria drew of me in one of my classes as a bookmark. A sketch she begged me, with tears in her eyes, to destroy, and I swore that I already had. But I love how big she drew my cock. It's enormous. I love that she did that. Vic, I'm sorry. I swear. Watch out! I swerve to avoid a shape in the road. Victoria looks back. Lee? We almost ran that thing over. I put my hand on Vic's shoulder, trying to reassure her. Victoria points ahead. Just keep your eyes on the road, please. She's doing it again, telling me how to drive. At least this time she came right out with it, instead of just saying, Lee, disapprovingly. I try to control myself, but it's hard. It's not just this last thing, but the buildup of all the small gestures. I take the map and throw it on her lap. Victoria raises her arms in disbelief. The Leonids, Victoria! We're gonna have dinner watching the Leonids! Victoria says nothing. Forgive me for trying to arrange the perfect date. I try to keep silent, but I can't hold it in. Meteor shower. A phenomenon associated with the passage of the Tempel-Tuttle Comet every 33 years. Victoria keeps staring ahead. In 1866, it was one of the most spectacular meteor showers ever recorded. I saw some lithographs in the library. Victoria doesn't even move. Everyone makes a wish on a shooting star. Imagine how many wishes you can make with thousands of stars shooting through the sky. Statistically, like at least 100 of your wishes gotta come true. It's a loophole with God, Victoria. A loophole with God. Victoria settles in her seat. You know what, Lee? Shut up. I've never heard that tone before from her. Just keep quiet until we reach... She examines the map I threw on her lap. Holt? Holt Station? I feel my heart pounding. My hands are shaking. That's what she wants? For me to keep quiet? For me not to say a goddamn word? My hands grip the wheel tight. All the preparations I made for tonight. My friend Freddy had worked out the ideal place to see them in all their splendor, away from the city lights. And when I noticed that Holt Station was inside the area, I didn't hesitate. And now Vic had ruined it. Oh no, a bat. What the fuck? Oh no, a bat hit my car. Something hits the Mustang's antenna. What are the odds of that happening? What the hell is that? At least stop. Nah, it's fine. For some reason, I don't understand. I speed up. Look, we'll take care of it when we reach Holt Station. Slow down. Lee, please. Lee. Lee, I'm pregnant. Victoria's words make no sense. The Mustang hits the edge of the road, flipping the car over spectacularly. Neither of us survive. Well, I mean, that's probably for the best, really. It as much as our character was saying that he thinks Victoria may be the one, I really don't feel like these two had much chemistry. Really don't feel like they were getting along. All right, let's stop the car. I slam on the brakes. Instinctively, I put a hand in front of Victoria to keep her from hitting the windshield. I get out of the car and find a dead bat in front of the headlights. The animal had hit the antenna and somehow got entangled. I can't believe it. What are the odds of something like this happening? Don't bats have some advanced echolocation system, like a submarine sonar? What starts as a simple grunt in my throat emerges as a helpless scream. Fuck! Now this is what I get for trying to do something different. We should have gone to the movies. Lee. Vic's whispering. Doesn't take long to see why. Over there. The coyote is watching us from where the dark of the forest meets the light of the moon. Vic, we got this. It's not interested in us. I point to the dead bat, at the scavengers. I hear a growl that quickly multiplies. Suddenly, we're surrounded. It's not the first time I faced coyotes in the woods, but I'm not taking any chances. When I say, run to the car as fast as you can. I try to recall all the advice I've heard for situations like these. Make lots of noise, wave your arms around like you don't care. One of the coyotes in front of us approaches. All right, I need to put our advice into practice. Yell and gesture. Yell at one of the coyotes on this side of the car. Yell at one of the coyotes on the other side of the car. I mean, I would say that we would yell at the closer one, I suppose. Yell at the one to my left, at the one in the center, at the one to the right. Well, like, we're facing this way, so the left is the closest one, I guess. Okay, it backed off. Alright, I look into its watery, bloodshot eyes. Alright, let's yell at it. On this side. The one to the right. Alright. On this side. Center. Alright, those are getting closer. Ah, shit. 3 coyotes advance at once. Yelling or waving my arms around won't be enough this time. Alright, so maybe we should get to the car. Now. No. The coyote closest to me leaps forward with a savage bite. Encouraged by my screams, the rest of the coyotes soon join the feast. Well, that did not work. Alright, so... what if I run now? No. Running immediately does not work. Alright, so if we're, like, going this way, what if I yell at the one to the right to make it go further back? Nope, that did not work. It just seems like I do have to yell at the one that, is, like, real close to me. Wait, what if I don't yell right now? Oh, it just takes me back to that. Alright, well, I know I can't run to the car when this one's close by. I mean, I don't know if I can run when any of them are close by. Alright, those two are getting closer. Okay, we can. There's an option to bang on the hood. I guess we can try that. Bang, bang, bang. But that makes multiple of them back off. It's my chance to go on the offensive. Well, would throwing work, or maybe we should just run to the car. Now. Nope. We need to start throwing rocks. Why don't we throw the bat at them? Bang on hood. Alright, let's throw a rock. So when we get in the car... I mean, we're closer to this door. I would think that we would both try to get in there, and like one of us would move across to the driver's side. Or does one of us have to run around to the other side? Let's say throw one at the coyotes on the other side of the car. Behind me. Alright, that retreats. Throw a stone. Alright. One less to worry about. Throw a stone. The one on the right is the closest to the door. One more. Well, one more stone, 2 coyotes. Let's say the center. Okay, so both of them ran away. Run! Okay, we made it. Get in the car, close the door, and Victoria starts laughing. Although I know the reaction is more adrenaline than anything else, I start laughing too. And then kiss her. I start up the car and the V8 roars into life. I resume the trip. After a few wordless minutes, I suddenly remember something. Holt, Vic. We're going to Holt's gas station. Victoria starts whistling. The doubts, the fears, everything seems a bit ridiculous now. I think about the plans I made for tonight and smile. I really like to hear her whistle. Alright, then we move on to Victoria, who is totally alive and not dead from a car wreck or eaten by coyotes. Lee turns off the car and looks me in the eye. He smiles, and that smile seriously pisses me off. Let's tell Lee that. Before I can open my mouth, Lee taps me on the leg. Wait here, Vic. I swear you won't believe it. I bite my lip and take a deep breath. I see him greet someone. Holt? Lee had written Holt Station on the map he'd thrown on my lap 20 minutes ago. He'd written it by hand, and it might as well said Hort Station or Halt Station. Hell Station, even. Lee's handwriting has always been intriguing to me. I remember that time I mentioned to him, and he responded with disproportionate anger. A nonsensical rant which involved several philosophers of language. And all because I told him that his handwriting was dreadful. It is true that, you know, sometimes a person who has terrible handwriting doesn't realize it, and is insulted by being informed that their handwriting is real bad. Some people are aware of it. Not everyone is. But as you now know where these reactions come from. That night, we two got drunk by the lake. Lee told him that his father would have wanted to be born ugly. After the initial surprise, I couldn't stifle a belly laugh, and Lee looked down. For a few minutes, he didn't want to tell me anything else. I finally convinced him to continue. I always got what I wanted just by smiling. Ugly people have to develop other muscles. Unfortunately, those other muscles are the ones that last. I couldn't believe those words come out of the mouth of a flesh and blood human being. Maybe some poorly written character from a cheap romantic novel. But Lee's father? I pictured Lee that night throwing pebbles from the shore while telling me everything about his father's teachings. All that frustration. Was that the night that I got pregnant? That's right. By hearing about Lee's father? That's how you get pregnant. I'd both been drinking. Suddenly, I find it difficult to breathe. The interior of the car feels like it's getting smaller and smaller. I need some air. Hi. Holt, right? Holt seems startled. Hello. This is Victoria, my girlfriend. Be right back, Vic. I see them walk away with the box they took out of the trunk. And from the efforts Holt's putting in, it seems heavy. What's inside the box? I'm not stupid. I know that Lee has some business on the side beyond his work as an intern at the university. I heard some rumors, and I have my suspicions. However, I never did too much digging. I prefer to keep it a mystery, something to make Lee a little more interesting. I light a cigarette. Would Lee be a good father? And the question that I still haven't had the courage to ask. Would I be a good mother? The clicks repeat at irregular intervals. Small moths approach the light to get electrocuted. Is that love, Victoria? I laugh and shake my head from side to side. I think of all the manuscripts I've torn up. I've tried poetry, drawing. History seemed like an obvious choice. Ah, yes. I don't know what to major in. I'll do this one. It seems easy enough. That's a very familiar sentiment. I don't need any talent to be a historian. Hello? The man talks to himself while holding something in his hand. Have you seen any winged creatures flying over the area yet? For a moment, you think he's asking some kind of tricky question, and I remain silent. Well, yes, I did see a bat. Saw a bat earlier. However, something about him tells me that he's genuinely asking. I look at the man bathed in the shine of the street light, and the scene fascinates me. Surreal, some of your old friends would have said. The ones that organized poetry nights and read L'Ariamont. Excuse me, you are? Oh, yeah, sorry, Hill. Lou Hill. A writer. Victoria Greenberry. History student. Winged creatures, Mr. Hill? Lou, please. Can I call you Victoria? You nod. I'm looking for info about a dozen reports, Victoria. Numerous witnesses claim to have seen human-sized winged creatures flying over the area. Angels? Lou smiles, but the smile doesn't last long on his face. Look there on the top of the trees. It won't take you long to find one. You aim at the area Lou just told you. Everything's blurry, so you decide to adjust the binoculars. Let's try the focusing wheel. Let's try the diopter. I move the diopter to the left and notice the change in my left eye. I looked sharp for a second there. There we go. What the? It was just a second, but I think I saw something up there. Was it suggestion? I don't think the angels, Victoria. But before I tell you my theory, I need your help. Could you draw in this notebook what you just saw? Sure. Do a little doodle. At any other time, I would have refused with some witty comment. But there's something about Lou Hill that invites me to play along. I wonder if the fact that he presented himself as a writer had something to do with it. Let's draw the head. Little owl head, huge owl head, alien-like head. Its head was the smallest part of it. Draw the body. Small round? No, not small round. Wide, short arms, human chest with huge wings. Let's say, yeah, I couldn't really see arms. So let's say wings. Seemed like, I think the wings were, like, retracted, though. Like, wrapped around it. Legs? Weird bird-like legs, wide hip. I don't know if it was wide hips. What about thin insect-like legs? Yeah, here you go. That's good enough. I write some notes further describing what I saw. Lou hadn't asked for them, but somehow they make me feel less anxious. I never felt confident about my work, and for good reason. That doesn't look anything like it. Lou looks at the notebook for a few seconds that feel too long. I think about that time I showed my sketches to my art teacher, and he embarrassed me in front of the rest of the class. Motherfucker. Oh, what? Sorry. Talking to myself. I can't help but blush. Victoria! For once, I'm glad to hear Lee's voice. All good? Although he seems to be talking to me, Lee keeps staring at Lou. Lou Hill, writer. Lee holds out his hand. Lee Miller, historian. Lee walks over and puts his arm around you, his back to Lou. I know that he must have been annoyed that Lou introduced himself as a writer. Although it's hard for me to admit it. I like to be hugged. I feel safe. I think I would also feel safe in my grandmother's arms or in the arms of any of the other strong women in my family. But the heat of Lee's body, the hardness of his muscles. I remember all those biologist arguments I hate so much, and I can't help but smile. It's like I'm cheating when nobody's looking. Hey, come on, Vic. Let's see the surprise. Close your eyes. All right. Oh, you. I close my eyes and let Lee guide me. Now open them. Surprise! Okay, yeah, it's like a picnic. So what do you think? Oh, it's the guard dog. The guard dog has arrived. A romantic dinner for two under the same meteor shower that amazed our ancestors. I instinctively put my hand to my belly, and when I realized it, I quickly put it in my pocket. I look at the dog tied to the post. Yep, those are some fangs. It's a good growling sound. The dog growls into the dark. I wonder if those damn kids have come back ever since getting the dog. Alright, let's go with Holt again. I've known Lou Hill for a few months now. The first time I talked to him was at the Moose. Lou was looking for information about some unusual lights in the sky. No one would talk to him. Before going to the restroom, I went over to his table and suggested he buys people a drink first. When I got back, Lou was already talking to Rick and Stella, the tongue sufficiently loosened. Lou raised his glass in my direction and smiled. Although it wasn't me who gave him the nickname, I still feel a little guilty. Since that night, most locals refer to him as Lou Refill Hill. What do you recall about the encounter with the men in black? I smile. What does he mean? It'd only been a week. I think about how to answer. I know Lou. He loves asking questions. I'm going to tell him one thing, and one thing only. No follow-up questions. Tell him about the grandma's legs. Tell him about one of them bit a card. Tell him about the dream about the grandma. I want to talk about this weird card biting. One of the men in black bit a card, and he told me not to tell anyone about the visit. Lou listens carefully. He seems to hesitate, and I seize the opportunity to change the subject. You know, otherwise you'd keep asking me about the encounter all night. Red or black? What? The card. Red. Turn over the card. It's red. Good. It's a solitaire my grandma taught me. The one that she couldn't win for 60 years. Like, what, is this some sort of special solitaire? The unwinnable solitaire? Lou suddenly seems interested. How do you play it? Yeah, how do you play the unwinnable solitaire? Rules are simple. Winning? There's a reason why it's called the impossible solitaire. Let me shows you. Okay, we're gonna see it in action. Creating a triple pyramid of cards. The objective is to move every card from the board to the discard pile. You can move any card whose rank is one higher or one lower than the topmost card in the discard pile. So let's say there's a 5 in the discard pile. You can either place a 4 or a 6 on top of it. And remember that if there's a K in the discard pile, you can place an A. A comes after K, and the opposite is also true. So, 28 cards to move. Seems easy enough, right? Alright, so select a card. So I get, can we choose anyone to be the first one in the pile? I mean, we can look at what our options here are here. Let's go with 8. No? Oh, that I moved it to the left. Let's move it to the right. Sure, let's move that there. Select a card. Alright, so there's 9. Turn a card over from the stock. When you're stuck, you can turn over a card from the stock to the discard pile. But to turn it over, you need to make a bet first. Black or red, which one's gonna be? Lose the bet, and you lose the game. The son of a bitch is almost unwinnable. Well, so far it's been red both times. Nope, it was black this time. Oh, for fuck's sake. Alright, so I guess you can actually play it. I wonder if you get a different path if you succeed at the game. Don't know why we can't just click on the cards directly. So we could go with 4 or 2. Alright, well that exposed a 5. Alright, let's turn a card over. Let's bet red? No, black again. Well, I assume we can just keep talking about it. I hear barking from the back of the station. Trent. Is that the name of the dog? When they brought him in, they told me his name was Chase. Fuck it. It's Trent for me. You know Trent, right? From the Moose? Tall, prominent belly, and a scar parallel to the growth of his beard. I laugh heartily. Lou Hill might be a pain in the ass, but no one could deny that he was good with descriptions. I think about the book he's given me. He signed it and everything. Where did I leave it? I call him Trent, because he barks like Trent on Open Mic Tuesdays. Well, come on, let's go to the garage. See the machine gun. Did he finish the machine gun? Alright, I guess we're not finding out now. They're still having their picnic. So this is his idea of a special date. Looking at shooting stars while holding your hand. Telling us his plans for the end of the semester. I can't stop thinking about the raw strength of the hug from a minute ago. Or how he scared the coyotes away by yelling and throwing stones at them. I think about my friend May. Oh, those dark fantasies she told me about. But holding hands like this, smiling and talking and looking into each other's eyes, Feels like giving up, doesn't it? And she's not interested in this wholesome lovey-dovey stuff. She wants the rough stuff. She wants the bad boy. I know I'm to blame, too. Aren't I playing the perfect girlfriend role? Don't I make eyes at him? Don't I say love whenever I call him? I have to admit it. I've been fooling myself all this time, but I have to finally admit it. I want to fuck a Mothman. And Vic will just never understand that. So is this it, Victoria? Is this what you want for the rest of your life? Why don't you make up your mind just for once? I think of May again, of those women she claimed to know who could solve your situation using a coat hanger. It's a rough way to do it. You wouldn't be the first or the last. The dog barks like a maniac, and I appreciate the distraction. A mixture of guilt, anguish, and apathy takes over me. And now what? Why is he looking at me like that? Why doesn't he say anything? Has he asked me a question? What was that? I said if you're excited about the doors. Oh, yeah, real excited. Of course you're excited. The doors, Victoria. Doors! Freddie told me they're about to release their first album, and it seems like they're playing in New York. Are we gonna see them live again, then? Dog's the most enthusiastic one here. Even though I try, I gradually stop listening to him. Hesitancy returns and all those questions. The fucking dog won't stop barking. Well, it had been a distraction, is now driving me crazy. What the hell is wrong with him? Shooting fucking stars. Why don't you make a wish, Victoria? How about going home, covering your head with a pillow, and sleeping for 18 hours straight? Oh, yeah. That's my idea of a good night. Woo! Wild night that is. Let's just sleep for hours and hours and hours. I feel like crying, trying to calm down. Those eyes. That creature I thought I saw in the treetops with Lou's binoculars. Had it been real? Mothman real? Not just my imagination? Vic! You know what? I'm tired of it already. Exhausted. I've been trying and trying for more than 10 minutes. Can you tell me what's wrong with you? I stay silent. I need to think. But Lee's right. It's not fair to either of us. There's so much noise it's impossible for me to concentrate. I know they're all excuses, though. Winged monsters don't exist. It's just my brain desperately trying not to focus on what's important. The sudden scream chills my blood, and silence takes over. Oh no, Trent! We lost Trent. Trent down. Alright, let's go with Holt. Have you met Lee? The tall guy with the blonde goyle. He made xerographic copies of some docs I used to assemble this beauty. Where did he get the docs from? I bite my lower lip. Do all writers ask so many questions? I mean, kinda, probably. Like, they need to get information for the writing from somewhere. Lee works at the university, in the history department. Lou adjusts his glasses. You don't know why, but that gesture irritates me. The Winans don't work like a normal machine gun. Normal machine guns use gunpowder to fire projectiles. Do you know what the Winans uses? Centrifugal force. Interesting. Lou repeats the gesture with the glasses. Today, Lee brought me some ketchup grenades. Do you know about ketchup grenades? Lou shakes his head and readjusts his glasses for the third time in less than 5 minutes. I take a deep breath. Let's tell him about ketchup grenades. Although you can't stand Lou Refill Hill's tick, You enjoy talking about your collection of Civil War weapons. Ketchums, similar to footballs in shape. They have to land on the nose to explode. They were highly inefficient. Port Hudson, for example. The Confederates used sheets to catch them without exploding, and then they threw them back at Union soldiers. Lou was about to say something when you hear a scream that makes your blood run cold. You grab the shotgun without thinking twice. It's coming from the back. Come on. I don't have a good feeling about this. Something's not right. Trent, no! He got Mothmaned. Although it feels like a dream, somehow I know. This creature is real. My dog's suffering is real. There'll be no waking up from this. Well, I mean, I don't know if just running to him is going to do anything, so probably should take a shot. I am my gun. Shit. But I don't that seems pretty clean, I don't know. Like, maybe just the perspective we're seeing it, that seems like an extremely clean shot. Alright, let's go to Trent. You hear the muffled moans of my dog, and the fury blinds me. I drop the shotgun and grab the chain. Son of a bitch is gonna strangle Trent. Yeah, maybe we need some help with this. Come on, hurry. Before they arrive, I feel the pull, and the floor disappears under my feet. Now we gotta hold on. We can't abandon Trent. We abandoned Trent. I managed to hold on for a few minutes. I finally let go and fell into the thick of the forest. Tree branches penetrate my body, and I die before reaching the ground. Alright, I guess we have to abandon Trent. Release the chain. Holt! I know I should hit the floor soon. Thump. Don't move. Oh, that's a bad one. I'm gonna have to sleep that one off. Listen to Vic, Holt. Her sister's a nurse. No bones seem to be broken. My dog! Victoria and Lee help me to my feet. Lou doesn't take off his eyes off the winged creature for a single second. He let go! He just let go! What? 1 second. I know where your dog is, Holt. Wait a minute. Got something in the car. Let's go. A gift from Freddy. Cool, right? I try to get up, but I feel dizzy and stumble. Victoria gives Lee a disapproving look and helps me keep my balance. Follow me. Thanks. I would have liked to have smiled at her. After all, Victoria just wants to help. But I could do it by myself. Get my rifle and walk with the rest into the blackness of the forest. Okay, we've got a party together. We should go in that direction. No. I think we should go that way. Lee. Now what? The place where Trent fell. I've calculated by projecting the point where the creature dropped it on this map. You've calculated, you say? Weren't you a writer? Lou, don't mind him. Do what you want. Constantly checking the map, Lou leads the group on. We should be close, according to his calculations. Oh, his calculations were correct. There! My heart is pounding. Please! Compress his chest, use both hands, just like that. How curious. Did you know that the cardiopulmonary resuscitation procedure was discovered by Dr. Knickerbocker while he was trying to save a dog? As he speaks, Lou carefully examines the tops of the trees. Was it Johns Hopkins University? Victoria rests her hand on ours and moves her head from side to side. I stop pressing and a few tears roll down my cheek. The interesting thing is what happened to the dog afterwards. Well, what happened? Shut it, Lou! Lou adjusts his glasses. I look at Victoria. I'm too afraid my voice would break to say thank you. Why didn't I shoot? Why didn't I try to blow the creature's brains out? I mean, I did, but deep down, you know that's just the guilt talking. And that maybe there was nothing I could have done differently to save him. Lee! Have you seen Lee? I stand up. and look around. Lee's gone. Where did Lee go? I mean, I guess we're following Lee. I walk faster to keep my thoughts at bay. What the hell's wrong with her? Why does she even listen to him? Writer, says the fucker. Ugh, what a loser. I walk through the woods, confident that I will be the one to find Holt's dog. What then, Vic? What weird little face will you make? Those are some men who might be wearing black. Hello? I feel like someone's watching me. I'm walking through a dense forest area where the darkness is almost total. I walk even faster than before. Finally, I reach a clearing and look at the sky. The meteor shower is gaining intensity. My heart is in anguish, and I find it hard to breathe. Are you watching the Leonids, Victoria? Are you? I hold my head in my hands. Cry. Last time I cried like this, I was 16. I got home early and found him hitting my mother. I tried to separate them, and my dad took it out on my ribs. His blows were like a rain of sledgehammers, and his breath reeked of alcohol. He pushed me against the wall, and I ended up on the floor. My mom was clutching her head when my dad took a deep breath and kicked me in the stomach. What hit you in the face? Because it's the only thing you got going for you. And one day, you won't have it anymore. Carry my father's photo in my wallet? Not to remember how good he looked? Hell no! Whenever the pain was too much, I'd scratch his entire face until the features blended with the cuts in the paper. What the? I seem to hear something, a kind of rumor. A rumor? I think of the noise hands make when they shake the dust off an old volume. A river? I try to think about the map I've got in the car. I can't remember seeing a river here. Further west, sure. But here? As I get closer, I hear it more clearly. I feel kind of calm. Not peace, but numbness. Huh. Suddenly, the whitest light I've ever seen floods the ground. Even when there's no river nearby, the sound is deafening. What? I feel the light pulse with painful intensity, as if millions and millions of red ants were sinking their little jaws into your skin. Oh, that's radioactivity, Lee, is probably what that is. Pain turns into light. I want to scream, but I have no mouth, nor larynx, nor lungs. And the white that precedes everything consumes me. Huh. I don't know how long it takes. I feel the urgency of what is yet to be, and white makes me desperate. Huh? Hmm? Huh? I feel the white light leaving my body, and I hear my own voice screaming at the top of my lungs. I drop to the floor and cover my head with both hands. Huh. I'm filled with a sense of completeness that I cannot explain. We all need a little darkness. All right. Well, I believe that has been an hour for Mothman 1966. It's a story about, well, so far, a very sad, disgruntled gas station owner who loves Civil War guns, and a pair of sweethearts who really don't seem to like each other very much. She's pregnant and hasn't told him. And they don't seem to get along at all or have any chemistry at all, but they, goddammit, they love each other, I guess, probably. The fourth character is not on this, has not appeared on this screen, but there is a fourth member of the party who loves giving trivia about the origin of CPR while someone's dog is dying. He does not appear here, though. Mothman at least did make an appearance. Got a good sight of him as he killed a dog. And also, there's Men in Black, and I'm not entirely sure what happened to Lee, where we saw a goat man, a goat what with turns into a man. Not sure what that was about. So that's been our tryout, our hour-long tryout of Mothman, 1966. The title doesn't imply that there is more than one Mothman. Or maybe the idea is that deep down, we're all Mothmen. Inside of us, there are two Mothmen. One good, one evil. Both of them are killing dogs. They can't stop doing that, unfortunately. They can't stop. That's been our tryout of Mothman, 1966. I don't know if it's possible to beat the solitaire game. I assume you can beat the solitaire game. I don't know if anything happens if you beat it. But it would seem like I could have kept trying.